10. The straightness of God's rule. In Hebrews 1:8, Paul tells us that God's scepter is a, quote, scepter of righteousness. The word translated as righteousness is euthetetos, meaning strictness, straightness, rigidity, and rightness. It's not the usual word for righteousness or justice, but a stern and severe word that implies what Malachi 3:6 tells us. Quote, I am the Lord, I change not. It means that God, quote, is the enemy of looseness and compromise with evil, end quote, as Ernest Gordon said. For too long, many people have regarded God as an indulgent grandfather whose children can do no wrong. As a result, we have a sentimental and flabby church which, despite the number of people in it, is too often impotent and irrelevant. We need to remember that the Puritans were only 4% of the population when they commanded England. Because they saw God as a Lord of unchanging straightness, they gave God the same kind of service. But notice that in Hebrews 1:8 we are told that God the Father tells God the Son, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is a scepter of thy kingdom. It's a perversion of Scripture to read the Old Testament era as a time of law and wrath, and the New Testament as only grace and peace. The triune God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and His grace as well as His stern straightness are always unchanging. We may be able to work on one side of our wife or husband's nature, but we can never do this to God. At all times, we are confronted by the whole of God, who knows everything about us. He is the enemy of looseness and compromise. He's not a half-God, and He does not like half-Christians, the lukewarm peoples. Revelation 3:13-16. Because we are sometimes limp, wet noodles, we can't expect God to be so. His is the scepter of straightness.